Zac Efron got mega jacked for Baywatch, but he still managed to level up his physique for the upcoming wrestling biopic, The Iron Claw. Here's how. For more than half a century with members spanning 3 generations, the Von Erich family has become legendary in the wrestling world, leading to their induction into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009. On hand to receive this prestigious honor was Kevin Atkinson, aka Kevin Von Erich, the last surviving son. The fascinating and tragic story of Kevin and the rest of the Von Erich family is the subject of The Iron Claw, in which the famous wrestler is portrayed by Zac Efron. To play the part, Efron had to transform his body in a massive effort that may be on par with what he underwent in preparation for Baywatch, which is very impressive. However, while that experience had its upsides, it also had significant downsides that taught him what worked and what didn't.
For this movie in particular, we wanted to achieve a look, and that required a specific type of training.
The actor then took that knowledge and used it to accomplish the new goal of increasing his bulk considerably, with great results. Let's take a look at the vital steps the actor took to pull off his latest formidable look. Efron was in incredibly great shape for his role in Baywatch, but to achieve those results, the actor may have pushed himself to a level exceeding his co-stars. At the time, Efron was all for putting the work in, as he told Men's Journal. There's this trigger that happens after 2 or 3 weeks of dieting and eating healthy food, where your body switches its primary energy source from burning mainly carbohydrates to burning fat. The actor relished the process because it would make him crave foods he should be eating, like sweet potatoes, beets, and kale, instead of the junk that would just make his goals harder to accomplish. On the other hand, the extreme steps it took to maintain the chiseled abs of a Greek god were eventually not worth it. A few years after the film was released, Efron admitted to Men's Health, "I started to develop insomnia, and I fell into a pretty bad depression for a long time. Something about that experience burned me out. I had a really hard time recentering." Despite the dark moments, Efron learned a lot from that experience and now fully understands the toll it takes to have almost no body fat.
The more you learn, the more your workouts evolve and change.
By far, the worst part of Efron's Baywatch experience was the need to use pills called diuretics, which are usually intended as a treatment for high blood pressure. According to the Mayo Clinic, diuretics help remove both sodium and water from your body, an effect that is very useful when trying to cut as much weight as possible. Yet this ended up doing more harm than good, and was determined as the main reason for Efron's descent into depression during filming. As he told Men's Health, ultimately, they chalked it up to taking way too many diuretics for way too long, and it messed something up. Fortunately, to play Kevin Von Erich in The Iron Claw, none of that was needed, and the actor has preferred it that way going forward. He added, "That Baywatch look, I don't know if that's really attainable. There's just too little water in the skin. Like, it's fake. It looks CGI'd. I much prefer to have an extra, 2 to 3% body fat."
I was not happy not eating carbs.
There are certainly aspects of Efron's intense preparation for his Baywatch body that he will not do again for future projects, such as the use of diuretics and some of the strict dietary choices. However, going into beast mode for workouts is something he doesn't regret. For the film, he trained 2 times a day, 5 or 6 days out of the week, but that didn't seem to bother him. He explained to Men's Journal, "When I'm very careful about my fitness and have a goal in mind, it keeps me motivated and balanced. I wake up earlier. I don't feel the need to be out. That kills your day, your hobbies, and your motivation." That same mentality came in handy for Efron as he bulked up considerably for The Iron Claw. The actor told Men's Health, "I enjoy pushing myself and really laying it all out, to the point where I kind of have to do it. Otherwise, I don't feel like myself." For his films since Baywatch, Efron has had a significantly healthier approach to meals during shoots. In a diet-focused exclusive for Men's Health, the actor said, "Sometimes when you're on set, I give myself permission now to sort of let up and eat what I need to eat. It's not the time or the place to put pressure on yourself unless you really need to be shirtless that entire film." The far less restrictive behavior has not only allowed him to avoid a lot of stress, but those extra calories have also been essential for the bulking up he needed to do for The Iron Claw. According to Healthline, the best way to build muscle is to eat more food than the body needs while carrying out intense weightlifting. Based on the trailer, the added calories and Efron's vigor for workouts were a highly effective combination. For some time, Efron's veganism helped him achieve his lean build, but eventually he realized that the restrictive diet was not great for his health. With that in mind, the actor transitioned to eating habits that worked better for his body. When talking with Men's Health, he said, "I started intermittent fasting just after I stopped being vegan. My body wasn't processing the vegetables in the right way, so I decided to stop it and try something new. Intermittent fasting's been really helpful with that." Although it is possible to be a vegan and still bulk up, there is no denying that adding meats and dairy products to the diet makes the process considerably easier. According to Healthline, bodybuilders rely on nutrient-dense foods high in protein and healthy fats. While Efron may not have known it at the time, the switch turned out to be a great decision in preparation for the Iron Claw. To show his commitment not to just bulking for the Iron Claw, but to using a protein-rich diet to achieve that body goal, Efron met the interviewer for Men's Health at a steakhouse in Thousand Oaks, California. The proof that his veganism was long over came as he ordered a Wagyu steak and sides, along with a seafood tower to start it all off. Efron then went on to explain that the switch to focusing on protein-heavy foods made him feel significantly less exhausted after intense workouts. But a part of him also wished that was not the case. The actor admitted, "Morally, of course, I still wish I was vegan." Yet at the same time, he also seemed to have enjoyed the change, based on the way he praised the Wagyu steak once it arrived at the table, telling his interviewer, "That's why I'm not vegan anymore." For Baywatch, Efron pushed his body to the max and paid the price afterwards by throwing out his back, tearing his ACL, breaking his wrist, and dislocating his shoulder. The actor learned his lesson the hard way that if he was going into beast mode, he must also be just as extreme in his recovery. Through his Instagram, Efron shares his extreme but successful solutions to relax his muscles, like entering a cryotherapy chamber post-workout. But of all the methods that the actor adopted, immersing himself in ice-cold water gave him the best results. He told Men's Health how ice baths had become a vital part of his routine. "It's my favorite part of the day. Before is when it's most miserable, and when you finally just commit and jump in there. From that point forward, you've conquered something deep within you. You do not want to get cold. That's the simplest philosophy. Anything you don't want to do, make it a habit." Given the high level of strain he had to put his muscles through in the bodybuilding process for the Iron Claw, it sounds like the freezing cold recovery is exactly what he needed. Almost every single day during the production of Baywatch, all Efron consumed was lean meat or fish with sweet potatoes. Although the extremely limited diet produced the desired results, he would prefer not to go that route in the future.
So that was the most extreme I had ever gone. I think I was in ketosis that entire film.
To play Kevin Von Erich in the Iron Claw, Efron still relied on unprocessed, nutrient-rich foods, but incorporated a good amount of variety as well. When talking with Men's Health, the actor laid out his improved regimen in full, saying, "First meal of the day usually starts with bone broth. I really love bone broth. It's satisfying and it's good for your stomach. Moving on to something more substantial, his next meal typically consisted of some sort of veggies with a really clean source of protein, whether it's chicken, beef, venison, elk, anything." Efron then ended with the most calorie-dense part of the day, to provide his muscles with the energy needed to bulk up. He told Men's Health, "I usually have my highest carbohydrate meal sort of in the evening. That's usually another really good source of meat and healthy carbohydrate, like sweet potatoes or quinoa." When an actor undergoes a major body transformation for a role, it's always great praise if the real-life person they're supposed to play complements their achievement. This is especially the case with Zac Efron in the Iron Claw, because Kevin Von Erich himself was thoroughly impressed with what he has seen so far. The former wrestler told TMZ, "I saw a picture of the guy. He looked great. I don't think I ever looked that good." As an athlete himself, Kevin is fully aware of what it took for Efron to bulk up like he did. The wrestler added, "He must really be working out hard. He does have a good body."